Today we're going to talk about the second part of my journey in life insurance, number 2 for the IMO, and that is that. Now, let me tell you something. It was not apparent to me what an MLM was until I found myself in this particular situation. Now, if you have not yet watched part 1, highly encourage you. The link is going to be right up here. Watch that before you dive in here, because this is a sequential order storyline of telling you my journey from day 1, entering as a newly licensed life insurance agent, coming into the space. And I share this story to help you, all the new agents out there, so that you can look for certain things that might be happening to raise your flag to see if maybe where you're at's not the proper place, maybe not serving you at the highest capacity. But first, before we dive into all that, if we have not yet met, hello and welcome. My name is Ashley. I'm a final expense telesales agent. I do work from home. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, and I found my way to crush it in the space, working part-time, earning anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000 a month on my own pen. And I produce this content now just to help you, the other life insurance agents out there, do the same. Now, diving into this is not a story for the faint of heart. There's a lot of stuff that I learned. I was with this second IMO for 4 months. Okay, so let's start day 1 coming into this model. I met my upline. When I came over to told that there are trainings, that there is role plays, that there's everything that you need. And boy, do they seem like they had everything. They had the fancy site, the logins, they had the yachts, the Maseratis, the trips, they had the Rolex watches, they had people on stage, they had the huge Zoom rooms where people are sharing their success stories of how they're like a struggling mom and now they're crushing it. Someone who was homeless who is now making a lot of money. They even had high YouTube quality videos of families that they've helped leaving reviews. And this is all stuff that's been shown to us. And I was full immersion. I thought, oh my gosh, a company like this, there's no way that people fail. Like, they have the support here. They have to have the support, because look at all the shiny objects everywhere. Boy, was I mistaken. So the way it looked for me is coming into, I was told, know the script like the back of your hand. Because what we did, we didn't just pick up the phone and have a conversation with Mildred. We picked up the phone to book an appointment to then set a time to get Mildred to get into Zoom. And once we got Mildred into Zoom, we got everything dressed for her, then we had to go through a whole presentation. And that was sharing the screen, taking down referrals. Like, there was a whole gauntlet of stuff that you had to go through. So you were told to study, practice the application, which was not for the faint of heart. That was also a long process, and study. So that's exactly what I did. I came to every single meeting. I studied. And here's the thing with the script. This script is not short. If I were just to practice through it and open up my computer and go through the things that we were supposed to go through and just read it, it took me an hour to get through it. That's without any human-to-human interaction, no questions, no conversations being had. It was long and daunting, but I didn't know any better. I thought, okay, this is how we're gonna get someone to get life insurance for their family. And it took me a whole month. Well, not the whole month. So I started May 1, and then 3 weeks into it, I had literally gone up to my upline and I said, okay, I've been studying all day. I am working all the time. I'm meeting up with other agents. I'm trying to role play. I'm trying to get this thing done. And I was so on fire. I thought like this was the way. And I was met with, well, before we give you leads, because the reason I came to was because they had free leads. And that's what drew me in, because if you know anything about my first story, and I lost $2,800 within my first 3 weeks at that IMO, that is why I was here. They had free leads. They said they had training, the support, the structure, and the success stories. That's why I was here. So anyway, I went to my upline and I said, okay, so I'm pretty confident that I can get through a full thing. I know the script now like the back of my hand. I'm working relentlessly to master this. How do I get like leads? How do I call people? What does that look like? And I was met with, oh, well, we don't actually give you free leads until you close someone, somewhere, somehow. You have to make a sale before we give you free leads. And that kind of, you would think it would have like made me question some things, and it didn't. But looking back on it, I should have questioned a whole lot of things. Because if you are in a position where someone's telling you, go sell your friends or family before we'll give you the thing that we promised to give you, huge red flag. Okay, these are how these MLM models work. It's recruit, recruit, recruit. Oh, by the way, did I recruit? Also, before I even picked up the phones to make a phone call, I already had 3 people onboarding. Like I had 3 friends who were in the process of getting their license to onboard with this IMO because I drank the stinking Kool-Aid. I was like, people win here. We're going to change our life. I was like, if anyone was on fire, it was me. So what I ended up doing when I found out that I had to sell something first, I went out and I pelted my family, my in-laws, my friends, my husband. I got my husband on board. He actually found a coworker at work who was willing to have a conversation with me to buy the thing. And so finally, at the last week of May, 30 days in, I had gotten a friend to say yes and purchase a policy. Then it was like a whole thing. Then I realized, okay, well, here are your leads, but we only give you 20 leads. Y'all, they only gave me 20 leads, and these leads were aged leads. And I had to call the same 20 leads over and over and over and over and over again. A whole week went by. I couldn't get anyone to pick up the phone. I knew nothing about being spam protected. All I knew was the CRM was on my phone and I had these 20 leads and I called from my cell phone over and over and over again. And so I went to my upline. I said, hey, no one's picking up the phone. No one's doing anything. I don't know what to do. And so they gave me like a batch of 10 and they just kept, it's like they kept saying, well, go do more, go do more, do more. We're not going to just give you leads, which now that I know what I know in telesales, y'all, you need 100 to 120 leads a week. Like I was in a system that was not built to win. I was in a system that was built to build a downline. So I constantly every day recruit your friends and family, recruit your friends and family, get them involved, get them in the trainings. I never once heard someone actually do a call. I never once had a dial room to go into to see what other people are doing. I don't even know if my upline actually ever made a sale. I mean, she said that she did face-to-face a while ago, but I know better now. Face-to-face does not equate to telesales. I've helped face-to-face agents try to transition into telesales, and it's hard for someone who knows how to do sales face-to-face to transition to the phone world. So it was just a situation where, yes, there were some people there who were doing good. I don't know their struggle journey. I don't know how long it took them to do well, but people in were making money. But the only thing that I had as a bottom feeder, someone who was at the bottom of the totem pole, I was told to recruit your friends and family, and we're only going to give you a small number of leads at a time. So I kept in it and I kept fighting and I kept working really hard. I really, really wanted this. Fast forward to July. So this was May. June, I was doing some stuff. Come to July. July had finally picked up some momentum. I actually was able to get like a batch of leads because I guess I was just very persistent and I kept poking my upline, who said then she talked to her upline and they like worked something out and they gave me like a good big batch of leads. I can't remember the number, but it was a batch of leads and I was hungry and I went to dialing and I managed to book 28 people to a Zoom call. And I got 28 seniors to get into Zoom, which is not an easy feat. And I got through a whole presentation. And guess what I was met with? 28 presentations in the month of July. And I was met with, I want to think about it. 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 It didn't stop. Every single time, I cannot make this up, I want to think about it. And it was in that moment of frustration where it's like, okay, I'm doing the thing. I'm going to my upline and I'm asking for help. And I met with do more, make more dials, do more. And I'm like, well, how do I overcome the I want to think about it? Well, she would throw a couple of things at me, but I didn't really understand that. See, the problem is I was in sales. And up to this point, no one told me that I was in sales. And call me naive, but I had never done sales before. I genuinely thought that people for life insurance, like in my mind, this is just something that they wanted. This is something I had life insurance. And so I was like, this is something that everyone should need. You have car insurance, you should need life insurance. I'm going to have a conversation and I'm just going to be the bridge. I'm going to help people get the application through and I'm going to be of service. That's not the case. This is sales. If anyone hasn't told you, this is sales. You have to be able to ask questions and understand pain and find gaps and get people to make a buying decision, or you are going to get objections every time. I want to think about it. I need to talk to my daughter. I want to think about it. I need to talk to my son. I want to think about it. I need to look at my bank. You are going to be met with that every single time until you wake up and realize and look around that this is sales. So once I started doing my research and I learned that where I was at is sales, and I learned where I was at was an MLM, and I learned that all I'm ever going to be told to do is go recruit, 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 which, by the way, the 3 friends that I recruited into the space, they were there for 2 months and then they fell off to the wayside. Of course they did. I was falling off to the wayside. I couldn't figure this thing out to save my life. And then I felt bad that my close friends were jumping on this Kool-Aid train that I fed to them. I literally poured them a glass of Kool-Aid and said, come join me in this MLM, which I didn't know was an MLM at the time. It was just a mess. It was a mess. It was a mess. I do not recommend that for anyone. Here's what you need in life insurance. You need a mentor. And that was apparent to me. And so I started doing a bunch of research. I took Jeremy Lee Miner's course. I paid $2,000 for that and I drank it in. And that's when I really opened my eyes and I said, oh, okay, I have to have a skill here. In order to make a sale on the phone, I need a skill. And I was still broke. Okay. I still had not made any money. And I'm 5 months into life insurance now, struggling, recruited 3 friends. They fell off to the wayside, getting conversations, finally being told that I want to think about it, and getting nowhere fast. So this is where we fast forward into my 3rd IMO. I sought wisdom. I sought mentorship. I sought to have someone coach me. And here's the thing, I was hungry and I was coachable and I was willing to go through any training to be able to get the skill set, because I still at this point knew that there was money to be had. I just wasn't making any money. So give this comment a big thumbs up, like this, and share it to the masses. Let's get this story out. Let's make sure other agents who might be stuck in an MLM, who might not understand that they just jumped into a salesman-like mentality, they might just need to hear this so they have a better understanding of where they're at, to make sure maybe they need a pivot. Maybe they need to start doing research. Maybe they need to start waking up and getting their head out of the sand and looking around them, that it's not about the yachts, it's not about the Maseratis, it's about a skill set. Right? So also, if you have not yet, down below is my free script. I'm here to help you. This script has made tons of agents tons of money. And this is not fluff. This is no Rolex watches here. This is, use this script, go through it. You will find everything that you need to know from Mildred, and there will be a sale on the other side of it. Also, if you want to sit at the table with other like-minded agents, please join the Facebook community. It is free. I am in there. I go live. I share stories. We talk. We hash things out. People are asking questions. Like, it's a great, great, great community. And I will see you guys in the next video. Comment below also if you want the next video. On that first video, if you did not watch it, I will have the link here. This image, go watch video number 1 so you can understand what I experienced at my 2nd IMO, and I will see y'all in the next video.